It's everyone out there in Radio Land. This is your boy Prophet Craig coming to you live on a pre-recorded podcast, and this is a podcast called Dare to Be Different. And we're here once again to just to kind of share with you some things that's going on and kind of bless you, just to kind of talk to you, just let you know what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And so right now it's kind of 10 o'clock in the morning, and where I stay, they are busy outside. So you might hear a lot of background noise. That's going to disappear. Just when I decide to do this is when everybody decides to talk. But anyway, on that note, we do thank God for the opportunity to come before you, and we do uh, thank you for joining us, regardless of when you're joining us. If you are listening to this, that means you have found one of the places where we have actually, where we actually, this is crazy, where they decide they want to vacuum now. So hey, it is good. At least we know that it's real. Now, like I said, if you're listening to this monstrosity, that means that you actually found us either on our site, Embracing Marriage at podbean.com, uh, embracemarriage.podbean.com, and you found us there at one of our websites. Also, you probably found us either on Facebook. Also, we are posted on Facebook at Dare to Be Different, Embracing Marriage, Dare to Be Different. And so this is where a lot of our broadcasts go. We have it on YouTube as well, Embracing Marriage Ministry, and you can go there and check us out as well. Now, as I was sitting here kind of deciding what I was going to talk about, I hadn't really made a decision. I was kind of in between different things. So so I was just kind of perusing through some articles, kind of find out, what to talk about. And since most of our podcasts are be dealing with marriage and relationships, thought it'd be kind of different just to kind of talk about uh some things that we went through. Some I was going to do an article, but I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save that for when me and my wife do our podcast, and then we'll do that. So I'm trying something new out. Um, some new app that I'm trying out to try and see if the recording comes out right, because I have never really used this recording. It's Adobe Audition. Probably most of you've heard of it. Looking forward to seeing how it works. I kind of have to go through a crash course to kind of know how to use it, because usually use Audacity. Audacity is something that I'm familiar with. But I thought, hey, Adobe Auditions, Auditions is pretty impressive looking. So I decided to give it a shot. So I hope that I could be able to learn it enough to, use it on a regular basis. It costs pretty good bit of money just to get it, but that's okay. Money is not the biggest issue. It's just a matter of us deciding if this is gonna work for us. But on that note, this is a thing I want to share with you. A lot of times, I come on here, and like I said, we came on here before, and I've discussed what we're going to do. I usually kind of on my own, kind of give you an update of basically what we've done. In case you've probably noticed, if you've been listening to our podcast from the beginning when we first started, we had a lot of issues with our sound. Our sound was kind of, when you're sitting in a room, and I really hadn't perfected this place yet, because where I am, I'm actually in a room, and the room is mostly it's a hotel room, and basically it's just kind of four walls on box, and we got a lot of stuff in it. And a lot of the stuff in the room kind of buffers a lot of the sound to keep it from jumping around and whatnot. But I do need to soundproof it better. So, because from time to time I do hear echoes. But what we did do, we're trying to upgrade our equipment. So we've basically kind of upgraded a lot of our equipment. I haven't done any videos yet because I'm trying to work on a background. So I don't want to have all this crap in my background, which to me, it don't really matter. I've seen worse, believe me. I've seen really, really worse. Like I said, in one time I was talking about this. I was talking about the time when I used to do videos, and I would watch my videos, and then I watch a lot of videos of the people that were doing them. And I had pretty good backgrounds. I think when I had an apartment before, I had a background different because I was sitting on a couch and I had a wall behind me. And the way this is situated, I don't have a wall behind me anymore. I got a wall, but it's got stuff behind me, and so it's got a lot of stuff we packed up and everything. And so we're kind of have boxes and bins everywhere, and it looks like a storehouse more than in a room. But I try to keep it down to a minimum, enough where it won't look so junky, so that when people see it, they'll say, oh, well, at least they keep their room neat. I've seen some people, they really have horrible videos. And a lot of times I watch setup videos, like different setups for either podcasting or streaming. Excuse me, because I'm getting ready to get into that. That's another aspect of ministry that I'm going to venture into. I game a lot, so I have a niche there that I can reach. I have a person who actually does that. That's his ministry. He does that. But I have another ministry that they do it, but they do it different than what he does. They do a teaching like I do, which I'll do a video teaching on certain subjects. But also they have gameplay of whatever they play, and they put that along with a voiceover of whatever they're teaching. And that's kind of the format that I'm going to go to. So it'll be something that I'll probably add to the playlist and kind of give you an idea. It's kind of reaching all different natures. Paul says, I become to all men, come all things to all men, that by all means I may save some. So there are certain aspects that I want to reach by doing certain things. And, I usually when I have an interest, I want to see if there's a Christian organization that has the same interest that I can use that as ministry. Like when I used to play pool a lot. So when I used to play pool, I tried to find a Christian pool players organization, which I did find one. I found a guy who was he lives somewhere a different part of the country now, and I ran across him. He has a website of CPPA, Christian Pool Player Association, and I had actually was a part of it. Got a shirt and everything. Still got a shirt too. I like that shirt. And so I kind of lost touch with him over the years because I communicated with him one time. And then he kind of, he did his own thing. God started taking him in different directions. He started going more into ministry, and I think he's kind of pastoring now. I hadn't talked to him in a while, so that was a season that God had took me in. So I decided, well, hey, I'm just gonna let that go. Then I got into gaming, of course. I got into that, and then I found this gentleman, Pastor Susie, who's the one I was speaking of earlier. And he does this as a ministry. He has God. He has this gaming site. I have to remember the name of it. What exactly? God Squad. That's it. God Squad Gaming. God Squad Church, and that's what he does. He does that. He's a gaming pastor. He's already a pastor, but now he's really his own ministry. That's what he does. He comes on. He plays different games than I play. And I watch him, like I said, a lot of times just for to get the word and not for the games, because he plays like Warcraft and League of Legends and stuff like that. I don't play that. But the thing is, when he gets into like different things that I might be interested in, then I'll watch him. And he has another guy that's with him that I like. So it's just a matter of what is God telling you to do. When God started dealing with me about doing this, I was already kind of doing this, but I was doing this under a different format. I was doing it under, I was in Blog Talk Radio. I had my own channel. I had my own deal. Had a nice little following. Wasn't a whole lot of people, but it was a few. And I had some followers that were there, and they actually listened to me on a regular basis because I try to keep consistent. I was doing this like 5 days a week, 30 minutes each time. And I was just, and it was, sometimes it was a struggle because the time I did it, which I didn't do it early in the mornings like I did before after I started doing this again. I would do it in like the evenings because I worked in the mornings and I got off in the evenings and I got settled and got kind of settled and everything. And we ate in a little bit, and I think my wife got through cooking around about 5. And so about 6 to 6:30 was my time. Well, where I lived at the first, everybody decided to come outside at 6 to 6:30. Well, by the time I got ready to do my podcast, I had some god awful stuff on my podcast. I had to actually, one time I had a guy who was outside of my room. He was just cussing up you wouldn't believe. Now, I'm a Christian guy doing a Christian broadcast. I was doing a Christian teaching, and all of a sudden this guy just blusting out, cussing all over and cursing out the sky, other guy on my stream. And I was like, oh my God, why is this happening today? Of all the time, and it never fails. But you know, that's how the enemy does. Every time you get a chance to do something for him, there's going to always be some kind of opposition. Don't think that you're just going to go through life and there be no resistance. There is going to be some resistance. There are going to be some times where there's going to be things that's going to come against you, that's going to make you feel like, well, why should I do this anyway? It's the whole plan is trying to get you to give up anyway. So if you make a decision that I'm not going to stop, I'm going to keep on going, I'm going to press forward and do what God called me to do and not allow anything or anyone to stand in the way, then God will give you the strength to do it. He'll give you the ability to do it. He'll give you the anointing to do it. He'll grace you with the ability to do it. You have to be graced for it. You can't just say, well, okay, like in my case, when I started doing it, I was basically doing it for the ministry. I wasn't doing it for me. I wasn't doing it because it was something I needed to do, because at the time when I started doing it, I was already preaching. What made me actually get into it was the fact that there was a guy that and I hadn't talked to him in a while. There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that were in my life that was in there for a certain season, but I still communicate with them. I just don't deal with them as much, but I still connect with them. And his name was Keith Wilson. Keith Wilson was a part of this site called My Church. I met him through My Church, and My Church was ran by this Asian guy who, at the time, they had made me one of their moderators and one of their main people, to kind of monitor the site, make sure that we don't have any kind of division, any kind of, it was basically being a church, but we had a lot of religious people on there, and it made it difficult because when you have a lot of religious people, they're going to be judgmental, and they're not going to walk in grace or love or anything. They're just going to be based on their own belief system, and that's where they're going to stand. And regardless of how you feel about it, they're going to say what they're going to say. And we had a few on there that was really disruptive, and they was really critical of other people and other beliefs. And I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. And Keith said the same thing. Basically, he pulled out. We got together. He was doing Blog Talk Radio at the time. And he said, man, he hit me to it. And so when he hit me to it, I got into it, and I said, you know what? This is a pretty decent deal. I was dialing in. We did it over the phone. So I had a dial-in phone, and I would dial into this number, and I would dial into it, and I would do my podcast. I had a little studio, computer set up and everything. But at the time when I did it, my heart wasn't in the right place. I wasn't living all the way like I should have been living. And a lot of what I was saying wasn't no anointing behind it. I'm just going to be honest. So eventually, and I still kind of kept doing it, when I got into the other place, because I was at a different place then, and when I moved again, I kept doing it for a while, and then after a while, it just kind of fizzled out. I'll say, well, you know what? I'm just gonna stop it, because at the time I had no other way of doing it. I had no communication to no form of communication. Didn't have a phone, didn't have a cell phone. I couldn't do it. And then what it was, it's my life started to get busier, and the times that I was supposed to be doing it, we were busy doing our personal stuff, and it really just I missed a lot of days. So I got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm gonna shut this down, and I'm not gonna do it for right now. I'm just gonna stop because we too busy, and I never really can sit down and do a live broadcast. So, in the beginning of 2017, no, actually, I think it was the end of 16. Lord started dealing with me about getting back on it, or getting back to doing this. And he started stirring my heart. And I said, well, you know what, Lord, this time, though, I want to do it different. I don't want to do it like I did before. I don't want to use a phone. I want it better quality. I want to do it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with excellence. I want to do it right. So God started showing me, what to do. A lot of what I learned, and a lot of what I've learned from different people I watch on YouTube and different tips and advice and stuff. But a lot of the stuff that God started showing me, hey, this is what you need. This is what you need. This is what you need. So I knew basics what I needed, but he gave me deals to start off. So what I ended up doing, I ended up getting, and my wife was a lot of instrumental in a lot of this too, because she helped. She basically was the one that kind of just helped me order everything. So I went on Amazon and I said, well, we'll see what you need. And say, well, first off, I need mics. We had a computer at the time, and I said, I need mics. I said, I need mic stands, and I need something to a mixer or something to work through. So we ended up getting the mics. We got this little setup where we had mics, a whole setup like mics, booms. Newark was selling it, and I had shock mounts and all that for about $20. So $40 I paid for 2 mic stands, and 2 mics basically for about $80 all total. So got one for her, one for me, because the plan was that we do it together. So I got 2 mics. So then she said, well, we need a camera. So I got a Logitech C920 at the time. Got that. So then we needed, I think she got speakers for her because she liked the way they look. So we got computer speakers so it can probably amplify the sound, because the sound on that thing was horrible. I had a little cheap wasn't even touch screen at the time. It was just a little cheap all-in-one that they had sold. They had pretty much discontinued and no longer had service for, and the thing was just trash. So it was old anyway. We got it. So got that. And so the mixer that I had, which I still have it, I got it in the drawer. The mixer I had was a Behringer mixer that a guy at my job, even supervisor at my job, I was telling him about what I was doing. He said, oh man, so I got one of those. I'm not doing anything until I bring it to you. So he had one in his garage that actually worked. So he gave me, God bless me, with a mixer, and I didn't have to buy one. So I ended up getting one free. So with that little mixer, those 2 mics and things that we had, we started a podcast, and I named it Destined for Victory. Well, it was supposed to, like I said, it's originally supposed to have been for me and my wife. And then all of a sudden, I think in the beginning of 2017, the enemy really attacked us in our marriage. We usually would have these uproars in the beginning of the year, but eventually we would kind of, get over them. Sometimes you get these things and then you eventually will get over them. And we thought that we was going to, and it really continued on. So in the middle of all that, my brother, I was sharing him about my vision and what I was doing, and he got involved. And so we ended up doing it a wholly different broadcast. We called it Necessary Roughness. We was going to deal with issues in the church, things that come up, kind of talking about things that was supposed to have been dealing with the church. We do like current events. I was doing more of a current event kind of thing. I would talk about current events, and then I would deal with them from a undertone perspective, a biblical perspective. That's kind of how I was doing it. I still go that route with my by myself. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna do one again. I'm gonna do one tomorrow, and I'm gonna do one basically, kind of just talking about what happened recently. I'm gonna deal with Stephen Hawking and talk about a few other things that happened. So, passing Billy Graham, stuff that already happened, but I hadn't kind of caught up with that kind of stuff. So anyway, what happened during that time? We had a lot of problems. Just saying, I can't go into detail because it would take too much time to go into it, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But just know this, and from the time something happened during that time when the enemy got into it real bad, and it messed us up so bad that we could not recover from it. We had a lot of hurts. We had a lot of arguments. We had a lot of walking out on each other. We had threats for divorce, and it was bad. So my brother was in the middle of all that, and we was trying to do that. He was trying to encourage me to stay doing it, and he caught a hold of it. He wanted to do it totally different than what I was doing, and I understood what he was trying to do, but it wasn't what God was showing me. And at the time, I didn't even have the heart or mind to do any of that. So then we were getting to the point where we were basically, because we had got so suspicious of one another, was doing crazy stuff to each other. We was cutting each other clothes. We was doing it, smashing each other's property, hiding stuff. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, if I sit down and tell y'all, excuse me, of all the crazy stuff that we did, y'all was like, y'all still together? But we're going to talk about that in our marriage podcast, Embracing Marriage with Barry and Karen. So check us out. So now, but to kind of showing this up, over the course of time, God started to heal us. At the end of 2017, we had made a decision that we were going to, kind of stick it out. We was going to go into the new year with a new attitude. We was going to change some things. And for about a week, it went okay. Then something else happened. Fell right back into those patterns of thinking that we started. And the beginning of the year was like the end of the year. So until about January, the week of January the 9th, but about before that, the first 7 days of the week, the year, we were in a bad place. And then I got worse because my mother passed on the 7th of January, 2 days before her birthday. And during that week, the 9th through I think it was the 7, 8, 9, Monday her birthday. We had Friday was my birthday. Saturday we had a funeral. So yeah, 9 through 13, that was a rough week for me. And so during that time though, God started to change some things in us. And we got really restored, totally restored. So God started dealing with me again. Well, he really started dealing with her more so because she didn't want anything to do with it after that. And because my brother took that spot, and she didn't want anything to do with it because she wanted us to do something together, and she was praying for us to do something together. And she was talking, she despised it because I made it more important than her, and it wasn't. So slowly but surely, God started to restore everything back that we had lost. So we ended up getting a lot of matter of fact, I think we get we got pretty much everything. I think it's like one item I don't have yet, but we got everything pretty much and better. We replaced our computer. Of course, the computer died before all that. So we replaced that, went from 24 inch to 27 touchscreen, so I can have more areas to work and do some editing, because I also do video editing for my videos and audio, and I like a lot of space so I can see. Also, we got another camera, which we got to upgrade from the 920 to 922. We got 2 more new mics, which you probably heard the old mics in the first podcast. The new mics sound a whole lot better. We upgraded the mics. We got 2 Sterling, one Sterling ST50 and a 51. And I got the little boom mic with the 50, I think. So I'm gonna use that for my video editing, for my videos. So when y'all have to see me with a big mic and a headphone sitting on my head. And headphones, we got two Yamahas. The I can't think of the name of them, but it's the MX. No, it's the what is it? I'm trying to think what it is. It's the HC50. I can't think of it, but they nice. And so then we got of course I got some studio speakers. I had to get some studio speakers so I could be able to hear what's going on. So we got some Sterling, some little pair $100 pair of speakers. They're pretty nice for the space where I am. Upgraded my internet system. Got another expander, another extender, because where I am, I have Wi-Fi, so I extended in here so we could be able to get it. So I got a new Netgear extender. So and I gotta get another plug for my gaming router, which is down right now. Okay, so we upgraded I have consoles that I'm gonna use for the stream and also for my own. But the crown jewel of it all is this Yamaha MG10XU, my new mixer. It's beautiful too. I took a picture of all of it and I posted it. I'm gonna post it on Facebook soon so y'all can see it. But I'm also posted an upgraded version of it too because I upgraded everything since then. Got another printer, subwoofers, soundbar, stuff like that. Xbox One S. So we got pretty much everything what we had. But as far as my audio setup, that's all my audio setup. Is the only thing now I got left is I need some more boom arms, which they supposed to be coming in tomorrow. So I have some sturdier boom arms. So these mics, these Sterlings are heavier than the mics that we had on them, but they holding up so far. It's holding pretty good so far. I had to tighten, drink down some screws to make sure they don't, lag. And so they're holding up until I get these other ones. And one of them I'm going to use for my boom, my pencil mic, which is like a acoustic mic. So I'm gonna use that for my podcast when I do my video part, so I won't have to have a mic in front of my face. But the thing is, we're good. God is blessing us. We're in a class that we're actually learning how to be a couple. Dan and Lisa Varela is teaching that class in our church, Cathedral Church in Beaumont, Texas. And we do a class every Wednesday. If you happen to be in this area and listening to this, come out and see us. We do it every Wednesday. It's 6:30 with light classes over there. If you need to find out more about these classes and about that information, go to icathedral.org. That's where you find out about the class and the information about that, about the church and about everything. Come see us and visit us. Hey, if you happen to hear this and you visiting us, come visit our church on Sunday. Tap me on the shoulder. Say, I'm Barry Craig. Just ask where you are. Tap me on the shoulder. Hey, I heard you on your podcast, and that's why I'm here. So I know that you actually heard me. So, so I'm gonna give you an invitation to come and join us. Come see us where we are. Also, too, you can check us out on our Facebook page. We got pictures posted of our grandkids and new great grandchild. Yes, we are great grandparents. Of our date nights and different things my wife does. She does a lot of arts and stuff. She does little stuff with pictures, so you'll get to see those little nice little things she does. She kind of showcases them. You'll hear her on the different things. Like I said, we're on embracemarriage.podbean.com. That's where most of our podcasts go. Our show is Embracing Marriage with Barry and Karen. This is basically a State of Union address of basically telling you about what we're doing. I do this on my own so that I can just let you know what's going on, but we mainly do it together. So this is my time to say whatever I need to tell you about what's going on with us and how we're improving and what we're doing. And we want you to be able to support us. We're going to have a way for you to do that on Podbean. I'm going to share with that later, but I want to make sure I get a lot of other podcasts under my belt. Get some near other places. We'll be in other places as well, and I'll share with you where we are so you can be able to get them there as well. So I'm going to bring this to a close. I want to let you know that we're here for you. We're praying for you. We believe in God for great things for you in this year and the year coming soon. God bless you, and you have a glorious and excellent day.